What's up everyone, this is Long Hauler bringing you my 5th video in my preview series analysis of the World Cup groups. Today I'll be talking about Group B, so let's go ahead and get started. So for those who don't know, Group B contains Holland, Denmark, Japan, and Cameroon. So we'll start out with the individual team analysis with Holland. Holland has a FIFA World Rank right now of 3. Actually, I think they're actually 4 now after the last ranking came out. But nonetheless, they have 9 World Cup qualifications with 16 victories, 9 draws, and 11 defeats. So the Netherlands qualified first out of UEFA Group 9. They went 8-0, only conceded 2 goals, and had 6 clean sheets. And while that's, pretty impressive qualification, they didn't have huge competition. Their qualifying group was Macedonia, Iceland, Norway, and Scotland. So, but nonetheless, that's still a great record, and that's something that you would have expected a team at the caliber of the Netherlands to do. And one thing you'll notice when you look at the Netherlands roster is they have a host of extremely talented players like Wesley Sneijder and Arjen Robben, Robin van Persie, Rafa van der Vaart, and Dirk Kuyt. Holland's real strength is their attacking quartet. I think Wesley Sneijder is set to start behind the front 3 of Robben, van Persie, and Kuyt. There has been some question of the fitness level of Van Persie. He said he's not really played since injuring his ankle ligaments in an international game in November, but he's come into form strong as of late, so I'm not worried at all about Van Persie. And their midfield is also strengthened by Van Bommel and Nigel de Jong. And I'd say the only real weakness is the team seems to get a little bit frazzled when they face some adversity. And I guess the other biggest weakness is the goaltending. Stekelenburg, he doesn't have that much international experience, and he's certainly no Edwin van der Sar. But I think Holland's going to come out of this group with ease and not have much trouble with any of the other 3 teams. So next I'll talk about Denmark. Denmark has a FIFA World Ranking of 28. With 4 World Cup qualifications, 7 wins, 2 draws, and 4 losses. So they've fared fairly well once they get to the global stage. And they appear to be a fairly solid team. They qualified first in UEFA Group 1, and that says something when the group contained Hungary, Portugal, Malta, Albania, and Sweden. So they beat out, I think they beat Portugal and tied. They were undefeated and only conceded 5 goals in all the qualifications. So their strength is obviously their back line, meaning that they would much rather get a 1-0 lead and protect it and hope to extend that lead only after their opponents have overcommitted to the attack. I'd say the 2 most potent offenses in Group B are Holland and Cameroon, but both of those teams are easy to frustrate, so I think that's going to play into the Danish game plan. Try to frustrate those 2 offenses, go into half times, with 0-0 draws, try to come out and get a counterattack goal and protect it from there. So while Denmark is a very defensive-minded team, I'd say that their weakness is on the outside of that defense on the flanks. They rely far too much on aging wingers Jesper Grønkjær and Martin Jorgensen. It's also Dennis Romandahl might play into that as well, but they're getting a little bit old and slow on the outside. They make up for it by playing very solid team defense and tracking back and making sure that everyone's behind the ball when they need to be. But overall, I think the Danish have a very good chance. They fared very well against the Dutch in the past 6 games. I think they've won 5 out of the past 6 games against Holland. I may be completely way off, so correct me if I'm not. But I actually look for them to come out behind Holland in this group. So moving on to Cameroon, at the time that this video game was made, they had a FIFA World Ranking of 11. Now I think it's more like 19 or so. They have 6 World Cup qualifications with 4 wins, 7 draws, and 6 losses. And Cameroon qualified first in Africa Group A. They went 4-1-1. Their competition was Togo, Morocco, and Gabon. I think Morocco is probably the best out of those four, or those three. So they didn't face fierce competition, but they're always a very tough African squad. They play the style of African football, the big being physical and dominant, not very creative, but very quick, very direct football. And the strengths obviously lie in a couple of their world studs in Samuel Eto'o and Arsenal's Alex Song. For all the issues that surround Eto'o, he still remains one of the best in the world. And Alex Song, he offers a pretty powerful presence at the back of the midfield. Their back four looks a lot better on paper than they are in reality. But they are a team with a lot of experience under their belt. I think Cameroon as a nation has won the Cup of Nations in Africa 4 times, I believe, which says a lot. So they understand how to play on the global level. But their weaknesses, like I said before, like so many other West African sides, they will struggle for creativity, which will amount to them depending on Akile Mana a lot to work the ball through and create opportunities for Eto'o. Like I said, in talking about the Danish side, Cameroon is kind of easy to frustrate. You could see that happening when Eto'o got sent off in one of the early friendlies, like the 33rd minute. So if they get up early, look for them to cause a lot of trouble. But if they get frustrated, I think that they can fold on top of themselves. So last but not least, we'll talk about Japan. Time this video game was made, they had a FIFA World Ranking of 43. I think it's around that now, to 45 or something. They have 4 World Cup qualifications with 2 wins, 2 draws, and 6 losses. They performed pretty miserably in 2006, so I know they were looking forward to qualifying again. They did qualify second in Asia Group 1, which contained Thailand, Bahrain, Oman, Uzbekistan, Qatar, Australia. So it was a very large qualification group. So qualifying second says a lot about the team as a whole. So the strengths of the Japanese is that technically they're excellent and only the top teams can take the ball and move it around better than the Japanese can. I know that sounds strange, but you'll understand a little bit more in a second when I talk about the weaknesses. But their fullbacks get forward well, especially Atsudu and Uchida, or Atsudu Uchida, excuse me. Their set pieces are a threat because they have a couple of great set piece takers in Nakimura and Endo. And they have 2 big central defensive backs, Yuji Nakazawa and Marcus Talio Tanaka, and they can usually get on the end of those set pieces if they're driving the ball into the box. But overall, their weakness, like I was saying, is technically they move the ball around very well, and they do it just like a top team. But sometimes they just don't know what to do with it when they get the ball in front of the net. They do have Keisuke Honda, who played very well in the Champions League for CSKA Moscow. But overall, the Japanese side just, I think, doesn't have a goal-scoring mentality. I find that they're going to have a very difficult time, especially holding back the offensive powerhouse that is the Dutch and that is Cameroon. So I expect Japan to fall to the bottom of this group just like they did in 2006. So moving on to EA Sports predictions. Again, like always, these were all simmed. EA Sports predicts Holland's going to take 3 from Denmark. Japan and Cameroon are going to tie. Holland will take 3 from Japan, and Denmark will take 3 from Cameroon. Denmark will turn around and take 3 from Japan, and Cameroon and Holland will tie, meaning that the Dutch will come out as the 1 seed and Denmark will come out as the 2 seed. Into my own personal predictions, I predict Netherlands will take 3 points from Denmark, and Cameroon will do the same with Japan. The Netherlands won't have any trouble at all with Japan. Denmark will take 3 from Cameroon and then tie Japan 0-0. And then Cameroon will hold on tight but lose to Netherlands 1-0. Meaning that the Dutch will come out with 9 points with 3 wins. Denmark will come out as the 2nd seed with a win, a draw, and a loss. So that's it, guys. That's my Group B prediction and analysis. I really appreciate all the comments and the fact that you guys are enjoying these videos for the most part. So look forward to groups F, G, and H, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.